In the year of 2015, my hometown school only had one high school graduate. Years after, the number of graduates began to gradually increase. Mandary's class of 2018 had 16 graduates. This was a great deal to our town. It was a huge accomplishment. Class of 2019, my graduating class, had 13 graduates, which was also a great success to our small community. Being a 21st century high school student means our dynamics are constantly changing. Our technology is better than ever, and we are the generation that has to grow with the new technology. Although being a 21st century student means we get to work with technology in classrooms, it doesn't necessarily mean that a 21st century student's main focus is technology literacy. Our high school systems need to be reformed. We as a people need to learn to be culturally aware. We need to be problem solvers, innovators, creators. We must learn leadership and how to communicate well with others. Our classrooms need to be as dynamic as the world around us is. Throughout my high school years, I remember my teachers going to workshops for school improvement. My favorite teacher, Ms. Green, was also one to be attending these workshops. Throughout the years, I noticed how her teaching changed, how she was engaged with the students, and how she made sure all her students understood her assignments or lectures before moving on to a new assignment. She taught me things that I needed to know, or what I felt like I needed to know. These were things like budgeting, how to build my resume, and how to write a paper in MLA format. Not only was she teaching me these things, but she also made sure she was engaged with my peers and I. She also made sure to relate our work in the classroom to the outside world. Ms. Green made me feel like I belonged in the classroom and always pushed me to do my best. I think that the engagement between a teacher and the students has a huge impact on how a student is going to learn or have the drive to learn. Some days I wouldn't have the best days, and she wouldn't be hard on me. She'd let me rest my head for a bit, then get straight back to work. She treated me like a person, not just another student who stayed up late and didn't want to do their work. I still find it crazy that at one point, it was legal in schools for teachers to punish their students. The way the classrooms have changed from the 20th century to the 21st century is immense. We have went from segregated schools to an enormous amount of school shootings. According to CNN, there has been 180 school shootings in the past 10 years. Experts suggest that this could be due to tensions that build up over the course of a school week. Alfred University, out of New York, asked students how we can prevent school shootings. Nearly a quarter of the students said that the teachers should care about the students more. With this being said, students should feel that a teacher should be more than just a teacher. They should be open to being our mentors, role models. They should make the classroom a more positive environment for everybody. For some students, school is the only time they get away from their homes. You never know what is happening at home. School should make every student feel welcome, a place they are excited to be in. When students get a feeling of unwelcomeness, no sense of guidance, or feeling like they are forced to be there, school then becomes difficult to some, and students then become unmotivated. Things like this especially happen in low-funded public schools. It is no secret that low-income students have a more difficult time trying to get an education. When your family lacks wealth, you tend to live in a neighborhood that lacks wealth, which means you go to a public school that lacks wealth. Low-funded schools lack resources like new books, healthier meals, and the amount of classes to choose from. Our education system is unfair to low-income children. Wealthier families may live in a better school district or can afford private school, while low-income families can only hope their school district is decent. People of race, special education status, and even low-funded locations have a higher chance of dropping out of high school. This is due to boredom, not having a good support system, behavior problems, low grades, or even attendance. So if high school dropout rates are only affecting the low-funded schools, then does that mean we need to invest more money into education? The answer is no. We don't need to spend more money on education, although it would help with better resources. It all starts inside the classroom. Letting teachers pace out their own curriculum because only they know their students is going to be more efficient. Rather than a teacher following the standards so a student could pass a standardized test, we should focus more on preparing students for the outside world. As mentioned before, budgeting, nutritional values, cultural awareness, and real-life problem solving. We are a different generation. We must learn differently and at our own pace. So next we need to ask ourselves what the nation is doing or what we can do to increase our graduation rates and become a top number for education worldwide. Laws like No Child Left Behind made sure that K-12 schools were learning and achieving at a certain pace. If the schools weren't doing their job, then the law penalized the school, which I don't think is a good take at trying to improve our schooling. When a school isn't improving, we shouldn't punish them. We should put in the extra work for them. Programs like Race to the Top are created to increase college readiness, encourage higher state standards, strengthen low-performing schools, and improve teacher effectiveness. I think that Race to the Top is a great start to building a better education system for our generations to come. Another act that the U.S. has passed is the Every Student Succeeds Act. This wiped out the No Child Left Behind law. Although the act is more modified, it still demands that students are educated enough for standardized tests. The nation's take on education reform is not only getting better as these new laws have been passed, but graduation rates are at the highest they've ever been. Large numbers of students are attending college more than ever before. This is just a small step to our nation's success. If we keep finding ways to improve our education system, our nation can and will be better than ever. We must keep public education equal and equitable. If we prioritize our low-funded schools just as we prioritize the private schools and wealthier school districts, we as Americans can be successful in this life together. Our generations to come will not have to fear that their education isn't important, because we will show them that they belong in a classroom and they deserve a high-quality education.